All right, y'all. Welcome back to Friday Productivity with Jason Will, Blueprint Realty Company. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is going to be a relatively short one, I do believe. I'm just going to go over things I'm doing and things you should be doing and things we both should be working on, or all of us could be doing, with it being the first week of a new month. So I'm sending out a monthly newsletter once a month. So that has gone out. I include in that newsletter market stats. That has gone out. So the market stats is in the newsletter. It's also shared on social. There is more opportunities to share that on social because I have not yet shared it to my Google business profile. What else have I done so far in this month? I've got a couple different markets that I'm focused on. I really want y'all focused on one in the time being, but I have one pretty well established. And so I'm working on a second one. I've done market stats for that one as well. So you guys, in my opinion, should be focused on market stats that either cover one specific zip code or one specific subdivision or one specific market segment. So either you're focused on the big golf course community or golf course communities. Many of you, I think, would be wise to choose new construction and choose one builder to start and then maybe branch out from there. But maybe you're watching from Baldwin County, it's D.R. Horton first, and then maybe we branch out from there. Same thing, Birmingham, then maybe we get things up and rolling, then maybe we go to Tuscaloosa. I know the folks at D.R. Horton and Birmingham are doing really well in the Tuscaloosa market. So just one step at a time and keeping it focused, keeping it as simplified as possible. Okay. So let's go over some other things that I think, I and we could all be doing. I think everybody really needs to be adding, as soon as you're consistent on Facebook and Instagram. We've talked in prior productivity calls how those apps are synced, those social media platforms are synced with each other. So it's a one post, killing two birds with one stone opportunity. When we're consistent with that, only when we're consistent with that, then I would highly recommend adding a Google My Business profile. I do get calls from leads directly from Google, people finding me on Google. And the other thing, which is one of these kind of checklist items, is making sure that we have sent out all of our Google review requests for our past closings, or maybe you've just done something really nice for somebody and you want to hit them up for a review. If I do, host a really successful FISBO open house, send the FISBO a review and be like, man, I got you a ton of feedback. I got a ton of people through the front door. Would you just take a minute to leave me a quick review on Google? So there's a lot of opportunities like that. We can ask the vendors that we work with for reviews, but pictures, like just posting pictures and little 30-second video clips to your Google business profile, super helpful. And I'm really focused on that as my primary review platform. And I've already mentioned that I could be posting my market stats graphics there as well. So I'm going to put that on my first week of the first month to-do list to expand my posting on my Google My Business profile. In regards to the newsletter that I email, it does include, like I mentioned, market stats, but I could certainly do a market snapshot video, first of the month video. I think now is a really important time to be putting out detailed market stats. I want to give something somebody can read, but also if somebody wants to press play, the video also gives us a chance to showcase, our expertise and put a face with the data, right? It's all about building our brand, and the market data, we can explain it. What does this mean? Where are we headed? What predictions can we make, if any? I think that adds to our attractiveness in terms of being a professional full-time agent that people, can trust with the largest transaction of their lifetime. This is a great time to check in with, your hot leads, maybe your 10 best clients. If you can't you could, like we're saying, keep it small. So last week we talked about top 25, top 50. Maybe out of that top 25, you've got 10 that are like the super VIPs. So check in with them and then maybe check in with 10 of the hottest, the leads, the top 10 leads in your database that are most likely to buy in the next, let's say, 90 days. So that's 20 touches total. And then, man, just think if you got in the habit of that. Think about if you are just really bad at consistently checking in with people, but first week of the first month, if that's the only time you did it ever throughout the entire month, that would make a huge impact on your business. And then you might go, man, I'm gonna start doing this every week or twice a month. And it just snowballs from there. So Google business profile, check. Client check-ins, that needs to be a big top priority. Pipeline board refresh. If you're not keeping track of your numbers, your pipeline board in your office or home office should have the goal you set for the month, the quarter, the year, however you break those goals down. And you should be on tracking where you are in terms of, are you on pace to hit those goals? That can be a big accountability tool, a big motivator. It's just a great thing to have up and visible because what we focus on expands, right? So pipeline board refresh, do a big number review. It's also be a good time for those of you who are tracking your expenses as we are now in the fourth quarter. What does that look like? Have you been within the boundary or have you overspent? It would be good to track those. And then also what you have spent money on, can you track an ROI? And then maybe that helps you maybe cut some expenses, not only maybe leading into fourth quarter, but maybe leading into 2026. Open house, event planning, this is that fall season. So it's fun to host fall open houses. It's fun to decorate for fall open houses. You can have a trick or treat open house. A themed open house is great. And usually your co-marketing partners that will help you pay for a lot of that, sponsor a lot of that. This is the time of year they like to do it because it's not as hot and it can be way more festive and it's way more conducive to those themes that help you stand out from all the other open houses that may be being hosted around you. And then I just want to reiterate this one about the reviews. We are in a review-based economy. I know so many agents that I don't know if they've ever really gotten a formal written review that somebody can find on the internet, right? So people are just looking for reviews on everything that they buy from Amazon to Airbnbs that they rent. It's no different with real estate because 90% of realtors abandon people at the closing table, so they haven't stayed in touch, and these folks are now fair game, right? Oh, also would be remiss if I did not mention this, but content. Many of you are so inconsistent with content that you really need a content calendar. And again, this is a perfect time of year to do, make really fun reels and stories. You could go on, Facebook with a video and say, gosh, I just really suck at Halloween costumes. And I've got a big Halloween costume party that I'm going in the neighborhood that I farm. And I always feel like a dope because everybody else is like so decked out. Give me some Halloween costume ideas. Man, that would be awesome. Another great thing you could do is get with the local pumpkin patch folks and maybe have a private client event at one of those, or just do pop buys with some fall decor and maybe a little Halloween candy. So hosting a Halloween party at your house or going to as many Halloween parties as you can is a great goal for this month. So other than that, I know there's a lot of disturbing economic news out there. We're probably all a little bit freaked out, but I just want to remind everybody that, when the government does things, makes decisions that aren't so smart in terms of how they impact the economy, it typically has an upside. We go into that buyer's market category, interest rates get lower, houses get more affordable, sellers get more negotiable. So just don't hit the panic button, all right? Just stay consistent, you know, stay busy, stay active, and all will be well. If you have any questions about anything, you just want a one-on-one coaching session. I don't know if y'all have gotten wind of this, but I still do have the Calendly link. It's calendly.com/ Jason Will Broker. But I don't know, nobody ever uses that. So I'm thinking maybe it's just too formal. So just text me and go, hey, you got 5, 10, 15 minutes to talk, through this specific training need? Yes, I do. Or no, can we talk after 6? That's probably going to be the response. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me on this Friday. And I hope you all are well and look forward to hearing from some of you.